Hey, welcome back. My name is Ethan Schindler. I'm so glad to be giving another speech today. I'm going to be giving a short, persuasive speech on why I believe that there is a God and that there is a creator of the universe. So, I've got one question for you. Have you ever just considered how everything came into being? How all of this got here? How everything was created? Maybe what your purpose is, or just how am I here on this planet, in this solar system, in this galaxy, in this universe? How did it all come into being? So, my purpose today is to convince you that there is a God and that He did create everything, and that science's theory of evolution is false, and that there is, in fact, a supreme, perfect, all powerful creator. So, I've got three main arguments that I want to present to you that hopefully will change your mind on these. So the first one is that science itself actually disproves like the Big Bang Theory, or the idea that the universe just came into being. So based off the law of conservation of matter, it says that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. So the idea that everything came into being from nothing is already false. There's no way that everything in this universe, down to the smallest minute detail, could have come into being from nothing. And I've heard many times people say, well, the Big Bang Theory was actually caused by the heat death of another universe. Well, then how did that universe get created? Where did everything in that universe come from? It had to be created still. So it literally disproves itself. Science itself tells us that the Big Bang Theory cannot be true. So it's illogical to believe in that, and that's how the universe was created, because something cannot come from nothing. That's not how it works. So this tells us that there has to be some form of a higher cosmic power that created everything. My second point is that the order and design of the universe and just everything in it, the way the universe is so perfectly constructed, down to the smallest things like our bodies, and even smaller, it's basically a mathematical impossibility. David Hume stated, "Look round the world, contemplate the whole and every part of it. You will find it to be nothing but one great machine subdivided into an infinite number of lesser machines, which again admit of subdivisions to a degree beyond what human senses and faculties can trace and explain. All these various machines and even their most minute parts are adjusted to each other within an accuracy which ravishes into all admiration of men who have ever contemplated them." This tells us that everything is so perfectly fine-tuned that there has to be something that designed that. That can't just happen. Nothing just happens. A pot of clay doesn't just come into being from mud. Somebody has to create it over time, and they have to make it. It doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It doesn't just get formed over time. It has to be created. This shows this today. This is my little visual aid for today. Something as insignificant to us as a leaf that we see every day, right now, especially too, it's fall, the leaves are falling, they're changing color. There are so many complex parts in this one singular leaf that this in itself is a miracle. Creation is the greatest miracle ever. This in itself is enough to show us that there has to be something. There are so many complex systems and chemicals and just ways that this forms that there has to be something that created this leaf. And then trees have hundreds, if not thousands, of leaves on them. And then trees are even more complex. There has to be something that was created from that. According to the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, William Derman, for example, saw evidence of intelligent design in the vision of birds, the drum of the ear, the eye socket, the digestive system. Richard Bentley saw evidence of intelligent design in Newton's discovery of the law of gravitation. There has to be some sort of intelligence that created all of this. This cannot just simply come into being over trillions or even more years than that. It's not possible. There's no way. We would have seen it again. we definitely would have seen something evolve at this point. If we apparently had evolved, we would see the process of something evolving or have already happened. My third argument is that without God, there are no morals. There has to be a standard of perfection, something holy and above us that created us, that gives us value, that gives us morals. Pat Flynn stated in a conversation, I then went on to explain as best as I could the theist position. I said what philosophers who believe in God would say is not that an atheist can't experience a happy or fulfilling life, just that since on the atheistic worldview there is no explanation for objective meaning, value, or purpose to life, any meaning, value, or purpose a person does find is simply an illusion, or to be more direct, a delusion. He is completely correct in this atheist worldview that without a supreme, perfect God, there are no standards, and that nothing we does matter. There has to be some higher power that created us, that gives us value and a purpose, that he created us specifically to worship him or to serve him, to do something for him. Without God, we're simply just creatures here. We'll die, go back into the ground, fertilize it for a tree or maybe another leaf to pop up, and that's it. Nothing you do will ever matter. It's a pretty miserable life. There has to be something that created us, or else there's no morals, no nothing. There is nothing without a God. So in conclusion, I believe that there is sufficient evidence for a God, and I only stated 3 of these main arguments, and there are many, many more arguments. So in summary, the way that science can't even explain how the universe came into being, how it's also perfect even though it's unexplainable, and that without a God, nothing matters and there is no purpose, shows us that there must be, and there is, a higher godly power. Without God, we're nothing, and we're just mere creatures. With God, we have a loving creator who specifically designed us and created everything just for us, and we have a purpose in life to strive for, and he gives us meaning. Thank you for watching my speech. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I might have convinced your mind a little bit. God bless you. Have a great day.